Today we'll be making a poison apple frogger. Of course, as always, I need my research. Just gonna give it a taste here. It tastes kind of... It's okay, I got better. First I tried out this candy pattern, but I wasn't super happy with it, so I went with this face skull look. These are the traditional colors of a poison apple, but then I saw these green and blackish purple ones, and I love them, so that's what we're doing. I'm going to start off with Talisman green and then dry brush in some of Poison Cloud. Then I'm going to add the Duck Candy, and this Royal Cloak color is perfect. And I kind of wanted to have this magical glow about it, so I'm going to mix this duochrome mica powder with my gloss medium and cover the entire dark surface. And he is done. I probably could have gotten a smoother finish with the mica powder if I buffed it on afterwards. However, I kind of like how it's a little bit streaky and spooky. And don't worry, we have more spooky boys coming soon. Thanks for watching. It is time. For the Patreon Frogger of the Month, we'll be making a bubbling cauldron, which many of you have been asking for, or some version of. Now, lucky for you all, I do have research. It's alive! Yes, very informative. Time to sculpt. We're going to start by stacking a bunch of spheres. I wanted to add a nice hammered finish to the cauldron. But now I need to figure out how to turn these bubbles into a frog. This is the vibe we're going for. And I think it looks like a frog. Now I'm going to be printing them in two parts. I'm trying out this translucent green resin, which is just beautiful. We need to paint up our cauldron. I'll be using a mixture of druid flesh and ashen gray. To highlight the hammered finish, I want to dry brush it with a metallic, and I have a lot to choose from, so I'm going to do a little swatchy swatch. Battle Express was the winner. I'm going to paint up their eyeballs and add some details and clear coat them. And it's time to reunite the brothers. And they're done. This one was especially hard to capture with the lighting, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Thanks for watching. I have a bonus video for you today. Today I'll be making a potato, and because this menace has been on my page recently, we're also going to be making a hip potato. It's time to conduct our research. Tastes like dirt. Now first we need to erase this smile because I want this to be a sad potato. There, much better. He's also going to be pitifully on his side. The hippo kind of looks like a manatee at first. I think ears will help. Hippos also have the gift of plentiful squidge and very round badonks. We have printed our spuds. I'm going to start with the base of Aries flesh, which is a great potato color. Aries flesh, more like potato flesh. We need some golden tones, so I'm going to dry brush some desert yellow. And then dry brush Kronos flesh into his crevices. Kronos flesh, more like potato flesh. I'm so sorry. Going to detail up their squeege and potato eyes. And they are done. I definitely think I need to make a red angry potato version. But let me know what you think of my first hippo. Okay, now back to spooky season. Thanks for watching. Due to popular demand, today we'll be making a witch frogger. And we'll be combining it with a lumpy gourd. The question is big hat or little hat. I went with big hat. I want her to be a little devilish and screaming. I also need her to be extra warty because she is a gourd. We will also have to plump her up a bit. And last minute, I did decide that we need a broom. She's flying! It is time to print her out. To achieve gourd, we will need a lot of colors. I'm starting with a medium yellow, and I'm going to add stripes of this orangish ochre, and then put this lighter yellow in between. Next, we're going to slowly build up the green in short, brushy brush strokes, and then layer on darker and darker greens. Basically, we're just layering a bunch of yellow and green tones. I'm going to use Royal Cloak for her hat because it is the most beautiful reddish purple. And I felt like I needed a little extra something, so I added some of this green wash on top, which I think was perfect. Here she is. She has arrived. I hope you love her in all her gourdy glory. And thanks so much for watching. I got a pumpkin! Today we'll be making jack-o'-lantern frogger. We must obtain our reference.
I also got this! I don't think I've carved a pumpkin in like 20 years. So wish me luck. Okay. Oh god, sometimes you need a little knife. My pumpkin art is done. I call it safety first. Gross.
Amazingly, this looks exactly like the pumpkin I made 20 years ago. Now, time to carve our digital pumpkin. I made him a bit taller than my other pumpkin and gave him a stumpier stump, carefully measuring so we can fit a tea light in his butt. Here we have a happy version, but I think we also need a spooky version. Printed him, just need to patch and prime him before we can paint. I'm going to paint him a lovely rust orange with some yellow flame on the inside. Dry brushing some details and detailing up crevices. Just need to paint a stem and then he is done. Here's how he looks in the daylight. Happy, yes. Spooky, yes. And now nighttime! Thanks for watching. Okay, this might be the most difficult frog I've made yet, because today we'll be making a skeleton frogger. And we're going to be making it two ways. We're going to make one wearing a cute little skeleton onesie, and the other we're going to attempt to make an actual frog skeleton. But that doesn't look right. Starting off with my plain frog. Yes, that's right, I have a plain frog. For the skull, I'm going to start with a sphere and start subtracting shapes out of it and then just go to town. And I'm actually going to cheat and make this a Grim Reaper so that I only have to sculpt the bony skull and hand. I'm so sorry. Also, this is what he looks like under the cloak. R.I.P. bro. And we've got no time to chat. We've got to paint these boys up. We're going to speed through all of the painting. I printed the skulls separate because it would be way easier to paint. And rejoice, my children, because Trolls Not Green is back. And last we'll have to carefully glue the skull into place. Careful, careful, careful! Victory, 2 bony boys are born. Here is Skeleton 1, also known as a Grim Reaper.
Ribbit.
Oh my god, I forgot to mention he has a butt flap. And here's our chubby little onesie boy.
Ribbit.
Let me know which of the bony brothers you prefer. Thanks for watching. My audience is sick and twisted. Today we'll be making the sad squished frog under the Grim Reaper cloak. He should not exist, but you all demand it so. Here he is printed in all his pruny glory. Of all my frogs, he is the perfect candidate for Trolls Not Green. I am going to attempt to make him look very nice despite being squashed. I'm going to give him some semi-realistic light frog belly. And I'm just layering on lots of dry brushing and freckles. These are the weirdest shape eyeballs I've ever painted. I mean, he's done. Are you prepared? Here. Is this what you wanted? Is he everything that you desired?
Kill me.
Well, at least Big Cheek now has a disfigured friend to hang out with. Thanks for watching. For today's frog, we're making a frog that I've wanted to make all Halloween. This is very specific bobbing for apples request. I need to give my apples a rounded bottom, but when I remove this block here... Don't ask me, I have no idea how that happened. Here's my little apple army. Oh, hi Lump. I printed the barrel, but now we need to go apple picking. We're going to start with the base of Chronos flesh. Chronos flesh, more like barrel flesh. And these apples are the tiniest thing I've had to paint so far. Look at this, look at this. Also, while I'm detailing up this wood grain, this is probably going to be the last Halloween frogger of the year. And I'm so sorry, there were so many more that I wanted to make, but I died. I filled up my barrel most of the way with clear resin so that the apples would only sink so far down. After it cured, I added a fresh layer and then put my apples in. Though I definitely should have waited longer because they sank more than I wanted them to. But he is done. I think I may add more apples and resin to the top just so that they're really bobbing. But I hope you love it and hope you have a happy Halloween. It's officially November, which means it is time to make a pumpkin pie frogger. Of course, I must first gather my research. The research was fighting me a little bit. When did pie get so strong? Don't worry, I defeated the research. I wanted him to be like my previous pies, so I took my key lime pie and ripped the lime off. I made him a bit cuter, gave him a tongue. There's my handsome boy. First I gotta turn him orange. Now his base is gonna be pretty simple. We just need to do some dry brushing and some freckles and the whipped cream. But of course we have the most important part.
Crust.
To achieve crust, we're going to take some watered down glue, brush it all over, and then squidge him in a little bit of sand. Next we gotta spank off that excess. Once it's finally dried, we can paint it. And fear not, my bat lovers, because I'm also making a pumpkin pie bat. Squidge, squidge, spank, spank. Here is our frog. And here's his little bat friend. Let me know which one you prefer. And don't worry, we have more pies coming soon. Thanks for watching. Today we're making a Kiwano horned melon as a collab with Hals, yeah. She's a clay artist and you've probably seen her stuff. And this is also your reminder that we are not the same person. I'm going to start by making my frog wide, and I think as a tribute to Hals, yeah, we've got to make the mouth open. String him up, and then we can print him. I printed the mouth separately with the translucent green resin, and then I'm just going to paint some seed details on the back. And then we can go to town, texturing up this bad boy. Skin texture like this is just a lot of layering. It's time to send him off. I hope Hallie likes him.
It's like Christmas. Oh my god. I love that his mouth is open. The clear resin inside. And a little tiny booty.
Here's how mine turned out, and now I'm really excited to see how Hallie's turned out.
Hals, yeah.
You're not prepared. Hallie's looks amazing. I love the seed detail on the tongue, and I love how she played up the horns. I love how horny he... I loved seeing our 2 different takes on this. Please go check out Hallie's video so you can see how she made hers. Thanks so much to Hallie, and thanks so much for watching. Today we'll be making long-awaited pie froggers. Of course, we have our research, and I came prepared this time. I have once again defeated the research. I am using Zbrush to sculpt. For the lattice crust, I decided to take these tubes and mash them around. He also needs chubby chipmunk cheeks. We're going to build up some texture, and then this is how he looks printed.
Look at the chubby chicks.
We need our fancy stick technology. Success. I'm going to base him out with my dough color and then brush on the toastiness. Though we're going to wing it for the cherry pie color because despite this being labeled a cherry pie, it is most definitely a mixed berry pie. I think these two reds will be convincing enough. And I did not state it, but we will be making one cherry and one apple pie. This looks like an appropriate apple brown. After a very tedious paint job, we can now add some UV resin for some nice jelliness. We're just going to cure them and then they are done. Let me know if you are team apple or cherry, and please choose wisely because the loser will be facing the fate of my sword. It is time for the Patreon Frog of the Month. We're making a plain frog sleeping or playing in a pile of leaves. Wait, a plain frog! This is blasphemous, my children, but I will do it for you. I'm going to start with my joyous pineapple and rip his pineapple bits off. We're going to need a lot of leaves. Also, I need to plump up my sleepy chubby boy. Now, the request was for a frog sleeping or playing, but being the mad scientist that I am, I had to, of course, combine them. But now it's time to start painting. I'm going to start with my darkest red-orange color first, and then slowly build up oranges and more yellow tones. Starting with broad strokes, going in with finer details, and then adding some nice veining to tie it all together. And as per usual, I do think troll snot green is the perfect frog green. Though how in the world do I paint these booty cheeks? Look at this. How do you get in there? Time for the most tedious part, which is doing this very dainty leaf crown and bits. Here is our sleeping frog. And here's our playing frog. And our stacked frogs. I have a feeling most of you are going to prefer the stacked, but I think I prefer the sleeping one. Let me know. Thanks for watching.
Who farted? Was it you? Was it you? Was it you?
Today we'll be making an embarrassed bean frogger. He farted. Luckily, my hot dog was the perfect base for this. We just have to add some bean texture, which looks a little questionable, but don't worry, it'll be fine when we paint it. We have our beans. It is time to paint them. I'm going to make one red bean, a pinto bean, and a Christmas lima bean. I'm going to start with a base color on all of them, and then we're going to move on to the scary part, which is freehanding all of this crazy bean patterns. And to complete the embarrassed look, we need to give our bashful boys some lovely rouge. And they are done. Here are our beans! We have our red bean, our pinto bean, and our very festive Christmas lima bean. I love these way more than I was expecting. They're very satisfying to hold. Thanks for watching. I hope you're ready for salamanders, because today we'll be making baguettes. Now for my research, I was going to hand make baguettes for you all, but then my oven decided to bless me with the gift of half a baguette. We're starting with our English cucumber, just need to find his legs and bring him back over. Next we need to smooth our cucumber. Smooth. And we must work quickly, the research dwindles. I'm going to mask out the bread cuts and then push them in. And then we just need to add a bunch of bread texture. I really like the clay brush in Zbrush for this. You just add a lot of blobbles and then you smooth them out. We have our baguette, but we must hurry and paint them because the research has acquired butter. This is dangerous. I'm basing out with my custom bread color. Then we're going to take my favorite dry brush and brush on the toastiness and hand paint some tiny details. I finished painting my baguette, but then I had a diabolical idea.
Big baguette.
We must now paint up our
Big baguette.
Here's how the salamander turned out. His face had a little bit of warping and got squished, but I think you all will prefer that. And of course,
Big baguette.
And I know what you're going to say. Don't say it. Don't say it. I think I am going to jail. The president of cheese requested a cheese frog like 5 months ago, and surely that's means for a subpoena or something. Of course, I grabbed some research. However, I was searching for holes, and this is the least holy Swiss cheese I've ever seen. Maybe there are more within. Nope. No holes for us, I guess. Wow, the cheese fairy has blessed me with holes. Of course, we need cheese stacks. I started with my triangular boy. I squared him up a bit, and then I added a bunch of spheres and subtracted him to make him very holy. I'm going to paint him with space dust. I think it is a good cheese yellow. We just gotta make sure that we jam into these holes a bit. But of course, after making a cheese wedge, I was inundated with requests for a cheese wheel frog. I gave him a butt, but I decided that we needed a slice taken out of it. This boy's gonna be ice yellow. Just gonna add some nice hole details. And behold my beautiful charcuterie! We have our cheese wedge. And our beautiful baby Swiss cheese wheel. I hope you love them. Thanks for watching. Alright, you asked for it. We're making a turkey frogger. Making it 3 ways. Cute, cursed, and more cursed. I asked if you meant living or roasted, and you all said both. And a couple of you even said raw. I gathered my research. However, something didn't look right. Would it? I don't think this is going to be helpful. Now for living, I did opt for a frog in a turkey costume. The roasted one was not going well, so I decided to flip him around and give him a stuffing for a mouth. Gave him some texture, and I think he's not terrifying. Also a gift for you. It's time to paint them up. We're painting our turkey. We will be needing Trolls Not Green. Now both of our turkeys are going to start off with this beige base. But for the roasted one, I'm going to brush on these orange and brown tones. We're just layering on the toastiness and then painting the stuffing. And for the raw one, we're going to need blues, yellows, and pinks to get that nice raw undertone. And of course, we're going to add some resin on top for extra juiciness. Now here's how they turned out. Honestly, I think the raw one might be my favorite, but let me know which one you like. Thanks for watching and happy Thanksgiving! My pumpkin has become a biohazard, and as tribute I'll be making a pumpkin bat, which I know it's a little late in the season for some pumpkins, but I hope you still love him. My husband said he better be round, so we're making him round. Just gonna... oh, oops, forgot to film that.
He has arrived.
I'm gonna paint him up with this beautiful evil eye red shade. I want him to be different from my frog pumpkin, so we're aiming for this kind of look. I put down a lighter orange just as a base before going in with the hot spots. But after doing this, he kind of looked a little diseased, so I knocked it down a little bit with a little bit more of that darker orange. We just need to paint up his stem, and he is done. Are you team bat or frog? Thanks for watching. I cannot be stopped. I'm sneaking in one more fall frogger. Today we're making an acorn frogger. And yes, we will be doing winter and Christmas frogs soon. I needed to gather research, but we only have these weird pointy acorns here, so I had to go beyond to find some round acorns. I was trying to find one with this little top intact, but that was harder than expected. I think that means we must make the top a removable hat. I'm going to start with my chubby-cheeked pie frogger because I think he'd be a perfect acorn. I drew some guidelines for the top texture, and I'm just going to fill them in. Mustn't forget our acorn squidge and his little bald spot. Now he does have a little acorn point, but please don't look. I'm just going to prepare them to print. And it's time to paint them up. We have some bootstrap brown for our acorn. I'm going to add some dry brushing and line details. And rejoice because Chronos flesh is back. Chronos flesh, more like acorn flesh. After some dry brushing and hand painted detail, they are done. Here he is hatless. He kind of looks like a chestnut. But behold his hat! Okay, on to winter now, but I hope you love him. Thanks for watching. You'd think I would have learned by now. Today we'll be making the cursed turkey gift frog. And if you need context, so a gift for you. We need to make him one piece. We need to drag his little legs over. Yes, now he's ready to print. We're going to need some supports, but that's okay. I very briefly debated over how we should paint him, but of course we must make him raw. To achieve raw turkey, you'll need a disgusting array of pinks, blues, and sickly yellows. And you can't forget that wonderful slime layer. Alright, well, it's here. We have another cursed abomination for the pile. He's also hard to capture because his chicken flesh matches my hand flesh. And here's our cursed trinity of big cheek, lump, and Baguette. Thanks for watching. It's Patreon Frogger of the Month time. We'll be making a hot cocoa frogger. And as always, that works out well because many of you have been asking for a while for a hot cocoa frog. Going to assemble our hot cocoa. My patrons had a few different ideas of how this would look, so I tried out a few different versions and asked which one they prefer, which it seemed like most people like the first two the best, so we're going to make both of them. I'm also going to try printing them in pieces to see if that helps with painting. Doing a dry fit to make sure that it works. It does! Huzzah! And you know we need to make these Christmas colors. And for the hot cocoa, I have a few browns that would work well for chocolate. I think we're going to need to do some research to see which is best. Yes, my research has told me that we need both a milk chocolate and a dark chocolate version. And we are using two different whites for the marshmallow and the whipped cream. It looked a little plain, so last minute I decided to add some cute little mug designs. Now it's time to epoxy it all together, and then they're done. Here's hot cocoa 1, and here's hot cocoa 2. Very curious to know if you prefer the red or the green, and the dark chocolate or the milk chocolate. Thanks for watching. Today we'll be making a persimmon frog, which is exciting because I have not really tried them before. I got some Feu persimmons, and I tried getting some hot chip persimmons. However, every time I ordered them, I received Feu persimmons. 20 persimmons later, and I have found some Hachia persimmon. So this one was made for me. I'm starting with my horrifying tomato. We're going to wipe this smile off his face. Our Feu persimmon is going to be grumpy because he is crunchy. Making his little leaf hat. Need to make it anatomically correct here. And I'm going to make the Hachia one a happy persimmon because he's sweet, or so I'm told. Mine still aren't ripe. It's been 6 weeks, but I still have hope. Time to print them. For paint, we're going to make one ripe and one underripe. I tried printing their little hats separately this time. It was way faster to paint, but they unfortunately don't key together as well as I was hoping they would. I'm definitely going to try that more in the future. And for some added depth and variation, we're just going to add some lighter and darker oranges. And then they are done. Here we have our happy Hachia persimmon and our grumpy Feu persimmon. I don't know which one I prefer, but I know that I'm going to go eat 20 more persimmons to celebrate. Thanks for watching. We're finally making a Christmas tree frogger, but I've decided that it must be in the style of one of these light-up ceramic Christmas trees. Frog bulbs and all. We must assemble our tree and decorate it up. Of course, add some peepers and some digits. Here he is. He barely fits on the print bed. He's been printed and cured. Now we just need to paint him. These trees have a lot of brushy details, so I'm going to go in and hand paint a lot of, well, brushy details. Starting with some dry brushing as a base and then painting the brush strokes on top. And you bet that the little light bulbs are going to be frogs too. Also, are you team colorful or white lights? If we're talking these, then I'm colorful. But if we're talking these, no, I'm team white. But we're going to make these colorful, so I'm going to put a glaze of yellow, orange, red, and purple. And add the tiniest eyeballs in the world. We just need to assemble it, and here's the tree in the daylight. And it turns out I don't have a great light for this, so here it is at nighttime. Not as glorious as I wanted, but I still love him. Thanks for watching. I have once again gone rogue. Plenty of you have asked for a reindeer frog, but today we're making a reindeer bat. I had to gather my research, and luckily I keep a reindeer in my closet for this occasion. We must approach cautiously. Okay, I think she's a friendly reindeer. This is very good. We must give our little bat a little red Rudolph nose, one oh-so-cozy scarf, and adorable little antlers. Also, I printed him, but I forgot that I was using clear resin in this printer. Oopsies. But look at how beautiful it glows in the UV! I primed one of them, but I did leave one clear because I thought you all would be very upset if I didn't. We're going to start with the base of gizmo fur, and we must use adder's flesh for his antlers. And I will be making his little bat wings like antlers too. I went through and added his little nose and his cute little scarf. However, his scarf seemed a little bare, so I went in and added some cute little stitches afterwards. For maximum Christmas. And he is done. It's a beer. It's a dat. Hope you love him even though literally no one asked for him. I'm sorry for going rogue, but I will be making more of your requests very soon. Thanks for watching. Many of you asked for this one. Today we'll be making an ornament frogger. We're modeling it after one of my favorites, this glass vintage ornament. Also behold my wonderful weird ornaments. To sculpt, I'm going to start with this round boy from another festive project. Gonna give him a hat, and I'm going to mask out all of the nice line details so that I can extrude them and smooth them. I was a little nervous because this was my first time using the red clear resin, but luckily... luckily everything went very smoothly. Hey, don't look at that! I just need to go through and sand all of these little support spots off. It looks sad now, but clear coat will cover this. Paint's going to be super simple. It's mostly just painting eyeballs. And I think top brass is the closest color match for the top. Ooh, so shiny! We just need some thread for the top so we can hang them on our tree. Add some clear coat. And he's done! Merry Christmas to all who celebrate. I'm so sorry I haven't made Hanukkah or Lunar New Year frogs yet. The holiday season really snuck up on me. But I hope you love the ornament. I have a few more festive boys coming. Thanks for watching. I thought I was too late, but it turns out we're just in time for Hanukkah froggers. Today we'll be making a dreidel frog. First I'm going to make a dreidel. I tried to get the little characters correct. I hope they look good. I wasn't sure how I wanted to turn this into a frog, but then I had a brilliant idea. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Are we getting the vision now? I apologize for the tiny booty, but I am trying to make sure that he can still spin. For color, I could have done anything. I decided to kind of go off of the Hanukkah blue color and make him a blue poison dart frog. I'm just going to base out a dark blue and then dry brush this beautiful light blue on top. And then we're going to add up all of his little spots. Also, it was hard to tell, but I think their tongues are gray, so we're going for a gray blue. And I actually printed these in the red clear resin, so surprise, we have a red one too! And they are done. Let me know which one you prefer, but the real question is, can they spin? Alright, here goes. The answer is, kind of? Thanks for watching. Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year! Alright, we're finally making a mistletoad. But just kidding, because I decided that they're going to be tadpoles. I needed to sculpt their fat little bodies and layer them up. I also made a very round mistletoe berry. Here is our lovely bouquet. The backside is kind of giving aphid infestation. So please just ignore that. We'll be painting them up with witch's brew and zombie rot. Painting was a little maddening because there were so many tiny hard to reach areas. I'm going to detail up our tadpoles and add a beautiful red bow and paint up our berries. Don't look too closely at my paint job because some of these had the tiniest faces in the world. We need to grab our thread, but oh my god, this thread was fighting me! Luckily I have the power of needles! Victory! There we go. One mistletoad. Fristletoad. Mistletoad. Tadpole. Thanks for watching. Will you kiss me under the fristletoe? I want to make a biblically accurate angel frog tree topper for my Christmas tree. Sculpting was a little bit of a struggle because the wing started off very blobby, but that's okay. Instead, I'm going to sculpt a single feather and then build up the wing. After that, it was a lot of futzing with the arrangement and then adding lots of eyeballs and squeege. I had to chop up this beast and everything's going to be printed separately with the rings being split in half. For paint, I really wanted it to look like the hex core from Arcane, where it's this prismatic glow from within. This was really intimidating. It's been a long time since I've painted this way, but I just told myself to get started. I can always paint over it if it doesn't look good. To clear coat it so that I can glue it all together. Gluing was a little precarious as I didn't realize that I had the wrong type of glue for this. I used epoxy, but my husband came to save the day by using nails to hold it all together.
Are you prepared for the reveal?
Behold probably the coolest thing that I've ever made. I hope you love it. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and of course,
Be not afraid.